We just returned from an Alaskan cruise. And as part of that cruise, we did a catamaran excursion off of the ship to be able to get out closer to the Hubbard Glacier. So if you're thinking about doing the Hubbard Glacier excursion, this short video might help you make that decision. The day we went, we were really lucky. Blue skies, white puffy clouds, really clear. In places, the water was just glistening flat like glass. So we had some great opportunities for some nice photography and videography. So we really enjoyed ourselves. The tour itself is about $350 per person. At least it was at the time when we went. I'd have to say I found it to be worth it. And maybe after you see this video, you'll agree with me. The ship was only able to come within, I'd say, about maybe 3 miles of the glacier. So you'll see from the ship the view of the glacier. It's pretty far off in the distance. Whereas on the catamaran, we got to be within about a half mile of the glacier. So we really had some spectacular views of the glacier itself. I'll tell you a little bit about the tour as I show you all the photography and video that we took. Hope you enjoy it. Here's what the catamarans looked like that took us on the excursion. Once you departed from the ship, you could go up on deck. At first, the outdoor viewing decks were pretty vacant, but as soon as we started to get into some ice fields and get to where you could see the glacier a little bit more closely, they got pretty crowded, but I'd never say it was too crowded on the decks. You can see here, this is about how far away we were from the glacier when we started. The views along the way were just spectacular, and we even saw a few bears. The water was very calm, and it was a great opportunity to get some wonderful photographs. Such a scenic area. We'd flow in and out of some ice fields, some with some pretty big chunks of ice. When we had the big ice, the captain had to moderate the speed quite a bit. But then as soon as it cleared up again, we could pick up speed and make our way toward the glacier. Hubbard Glacier is 76 miles long. It begins in the Canadian Yukon, works its way down into Alaska, and then it joins up with the Valerie Glacier before dumping into Disenchantment Bay. As we continued toward the glacier, some of the ice fields got pretty thick. Heavy enough that we had to go really slow, and he kind of had to pick his way around some rather large ice floats. Ninety 90% of the glaciers in the world are receding. Only 10% are growing. Hubbard Glacier is one of those growing glaciers. In fact, it grows so quickly, it's nicknamed the Galloping Glacier. Where Hubbard Glacier meets Disenchantment Bay, it is actually 6 miles wide. And if you measured from the floor of the bay to the top, it is over 400 feet tall. It really struck me how beautiful this glacier is. And based on the way the sun was hitting it, or the clouds were covering, or the angle of the boat, the glacier could look substantially different, almost from 1 minute to the next. It was really surprising. On the way back to the ship, we came across this chunk of ice. Above water, it was as large as the catamaran, so below, it was substantially larger. It takes 400 years for water to freeze at the beginning of the glacier and make it to the ocean. So what I'm holding here is a 400-year-old chunk of ice. Looking back from the ship, you can see just how far away we were from the glacier. You really can't appreciate the majesty of this glacier without this catamaran cruise. I highly recommend it.